Ashley! Look at
this. If you thought OpenAI and Google were leading the AI race, think again. Meta just dropped Llama4, and it might be the biggest plot twist in the game. Most people assume the best AI models are locked behind paywalls, controlled by a few tech giants, and too expensive to run on your own. But what if I told you Meta just unleashed a 2 trillion parameter model, and you can actually download and fine-tune parts of it yourself? In this video, I'll break down everything you need to know about Llama4, how Meta secretly built it, what makes Scout and Maverick so different, and why this changes everything for developers and AI researchers. I've spent the past week analyzing early benchmarks, community feedback, and leaked memos. And trust me, this is way more than just another model release. Did Meta just leapfrog OpenAI and Google overnight? Out of nowhere, they dropped a new wave of large language models under the Llama4 banner, each one more startling than the last. Rumor has it, there's even a 2 trillion parameter behemoth lurking in the shadows.
Damn! I'm sorry.
Something so massive it could potentially dethrone GPT 4.5 and beyond. This isn't just another routine AI update. It's a full-blown shakeup that may change how we view open-source language models forever. And the craziest part? 2 of these new models, Scout and Maverick, are already available for people to download, run, and fine-tune themselves. Buckle up, because this is bigger than anyone expected.
It's about to go down.
The silent buildup no one noticed. Before this huge reveal, Meta managed to keep the entire Llama4 project under tight wraps. Even seasoned AI insiders saw only vague hints. Maybe a cryptic developer note here, a minor code snippet there, but nothing solid to suggest Meta was preparing to blindside the entire industry. In hindsight, it looks like a deliberate strategy. Let OpenAI and Google stay in the spotlight with GPT-4, Bard, and other flagship models, then roll in with a surprise that disrupts the conversation altogether. Some suspect this secrecy was meant to catch competitors off guard. Others think Meta was waiting for the right moment, fine-tuning its approach so the launch would feel explosive. Either way, it worked. When the announcement hit, the shockwaves rippled through every corner of the tech world, and once people started digging into the details, it became obvious. This is a very different beast from any earlier Llama releases, but that was just the opening act. Scout and Maverick arrived first. Right now, the 2 models that have everyone talking are Llama4 Scout and Llama4 Maverick. Both are open weight, which means you can literally download their trained weights and run them on your own hardware. That's a huge deal because previously many big-name language models were locked behind closed APIs. Developers had to send prompts through a web service, paying by the token. Scout is the smaller option in terms of raw size, 17 billion parameters, but it isn't exactly modest. It has a context window that stretches up to 10 million tokens. That's an absurd leap from the typical 8K or 32K token context we see in other models. In theory, you could feed Scout entire libraries, countless hours of transcription, or massive data sets in a single prompt. Of course, some experts doubt the model's quality across all 10 million tokens, but even if it performs well in half that range, it's still a game changer. Maverick, on the other hand, takes that same 17B parameter structure and loads it with 128 experts under the hood. It's built on a mixture of experts framework, so it only activates a subset of those experts at any given time. The result? Big performance gains without needing a supercomputer to make it run. Early testers say Maverick goes toe-to-toe with advanced closed-source models in certain tasks, including coding challenges and creative language prompts. And the best part? You're still getting it at open-source prices with minimal hardware requirements for smaller-scale use. But that's barely scratching the surface of what Meta has planned. Behemoth, the 2 trillion parameter monster. If you thought 17 billion parameters was large, get ready for Llama4 Behemoth. This massive model is rumored to feature 288 billion active parameters under mixture of experts, but the total parameter count apparently hovers around 2 trillion. Yes, trillion. That's many times larger than any widely available model in the market right now. According to Meta, it's still training in the deepest corners of their data centers, acting as a teacher model for the smaller variants. Though official benchmarks aren't out, people inside the AI community are talking about how it could easily outshine GPT 4.5 or Claude Sonnet 3.7 on advanced tasks. It might dominate high-level STEM prompts, pass nearly every standardized test, and possibly rewrite how we think about AI research. Some are worried about the compute costs, others about the potential for the largest open-source model in existence. But until Meta finishes cooking it, all we can do is wait and speculate. Still, Behemoth isn't the only secret up Meta's sleeve.
I didn't do fucking shit! I didn't rig shit! I didn't fucking do this!
The mystery of Llama for reasoning. During the announcement, People noticed a brief mention of something called Llama for reasoning. No details on parameters, no official specs, just a hint that Meta is exploring an even more specialized model. The name suggests a potential focus on logic, puzzle solving, or interpretative tasks that go beyond standard question-answer capabilities. Could it be a direct competitor to Anthropic's Claude, with its helpful, harmless, and honest approach? Or is it another mixture of experts' iterations specialized for complex reasoning? All we have are theories. Some guess it will be akin to a brain extension that the smaller Llama4 variants can call upon for tough logic tasks. Others see it as a parallel project for interpretive tasks like advanced theorem proofs or multi-step puzzle solutions. Either way, Meta's tight-lipped approach is fueling excitement and anxiety in equal measure. But you don't have to wait for future models to see how potent Llama4 can be today. Real-world performance, community tests. Developers wasted no time poking and prodding Scout and Maverick. They've asked both to generate code, summarize lengthy articles, interpret images since both are multimodal, and even engage in casual conversation. Early feedback is surprisingly upbeat. Maverick, for instance, can produce well-structured Python scripts and respond to clarifying questions about the code. Some folks even tested it on geometry tasks, prompting it to draw ASCII diagrams of shapes. Results were generally impressive. One quirk: Maverick occasionally peppers replies with emojis or dramatic flourishes. Some testers love the playful personality, others find it distracting. Fortunately, because these models are open weight, you can fine-tune them to match exactly the style you want. No more complaining about the creative flair of a closed-source model you can't tweak. With Llama4, you open up the code, adjust the system prompts, or run custom training. Done. People comparing Maverick to GPT-4 or Claude see smaller gaps in reasoning than expected. Sure, GPT-4 might still do better on certain corner cases, but the margin isn't massive. And given how new Scout and Maverick are, many suspect that further tuning or training could close those gaps quickly. Performance is only half the story. Accessibility matters too. The cost factor. Why it's a game changer? Traditionally, hosting your own large language model required enormous amounts of hardware, or else you had to rely on pricey API calls. That's where Llama4 flips the script. By offering mixture of experts architecture and relatively modest active parameter sizes, these models can run efficiently on fewer GPUs. If you have an NVIDIA H100 or even a cluster of consumer-level GPUs with enough memory, you can get them running locally. Cost breakdowns from early adopters show a potential 15 cents per million input tokens and around 40 cents per million output tokens when using certain hosting services. That's a fraction of what you typically spend with GPT-4 or other big-name closed models. And because the context window is so huge, you might reduce or even eliminate the complex retrieval augmented generation pipelines that break text into smaller chunks. Sure, if you dump 1 million tokens into a single prompt, it might get expensive or slow, but you're no longer forced to do it in small increments. You have the freedom to scale up or down as your project demands. For many dev teams, that's an absolute game changer. Suddenly, advanced large language models are in reach without wiping out the budget. But Meta's plan goes beyond enabling developers.
What are you doing?
Nothing. Me? Just hanging around.
Rumors and allegations. One twist cannot be unmentioned. Like clockwork, as soon as Llama4 started making headlines, so did the controversies. Word on the street was that Meta might have intentionally fine-tuned the public demonstration model to dominate the AI leaderboard known for head-to-head matchups. Some insiders claimed that what you see on the site isn't the vanilla Llama4 at all, but a souped-up version optimized to charm human reviewers. This raised eyebrows and tempers alike. After all, AI evaluation sites aren't the same as controlled lab tests. They rely heavily on side-by-side comparisons where real humans choose which model's output they prefer. If a model is trained with an extra layer of pleasing the crowd, it can skew results in unexpected ways, overshadowing competing models that didn't receive that same specialized training. When these allegations surfaced, it triggered a wave of doubt. Was Llama4 really that good, or was it a rigged performance? Meta swiftly denied any underhanded tactics, calling the accusations preposterous, salacious, and outrageous.
I didn't fucking do that!
Yet the friction only grew stronger, sparking heated debates across the entire AI sphere. Shopify's leaked memo shock. As if the AI arena needed more drama, that's precisely when Shopify's internal memo came to light, like a thunderclap that rattled not just one corporation but potentially an entire industry. In it, the CEO laid out a stark vision for an AI-first strategy. Teams requesting more resources had to justify why generative AI couldn't handle the job. If they couldn't defend their approach, they risked losing headcount or funding. This memo also declared that opting out of learning AI was no longer acceptable. Every employee, from seasoned developers to entry-level hires, was suddenly on notice. Adopt AI-driven processes or risk becoming obsolete. While some felt excited at the thought of streamlined workflows, others sensed a darker undertone, that humans might get sidelined whenever artificial intelligence could step in and do it cheaper. Soon enough, the corporate rumor mill exploded. Critics slammed Shopify for pressuring employees, while supporters argued it was high time an executive recognized AI's enormous potential. Either way, the timing of this leak couldn't have been more significant. It underscored a broader reality. Companies across the board are shifting their priorities, a shift that appears unstoppable. Industry reactions and the new arms race. Barely a day went by after the Llama 4 release before tech giants started throwing in their support. Microsoft's Satya Nadella publicly congratulated Meta, a notable move given Microsoft's deep partnership with OpenAI. Google's Sundar Pichai made a similar gesture, emphasizing cross-industry collaboration. Meanwhile, Michael Dell jumped into the conversation, announcing that Dell's enterprise solutions would soon host Llama 4 to help companies run large-scale AI on their own servers. Venture capital heavyweights chimed in too, praising the open-source approach as the key for keeping the US at the forefront of AI. If you think about it, a fully open-weight model fosters rapid innovation. Researchers can dissect every parameter, replicate experiments, and push the technology forward without waiting for a black box API to catch up. In a sense, this is the future many predicted, a new arms race, not just about who has the biggest model, but also who can share it most widely and foster the biggest ecosystem. Which brings us to the final question. Everything just changed. Meta's Llama 4 rollout signals more than just a new set of AI tools. It marks a turning point where open source models are no longer playing second fiddle to closed competitors. They're competing head to head. Whether you're excited about the smaller, fast-running Scout or the monstrous behemoth still in training, the takeaway is clear. The AI landscape isn't the same as it was even a few months ago. Open weight downloads mean you can host advanced language models at your fingertips. Extended context windows let you feed mountains of data directly into the model. New mixture of experts design / the cost and computation needed to get near state-of-the-art performance. And with the promise of Llama for reasoning lurking in the wings, it feels like we're witnessing just the beginning of a larger plan. So what happens when Meta finally unleashes that 2 trillion parameter giant? Will it crush GPT 4.5, Claude, and every other AI contender? Or will it spark a new era of specialized models for all sorts of tasks, from writing complex code to interpreting huge data sets to solving the world's hardest logic puzzles? No one knows for sure, but one thing is certain. The moment Meta decided to release Llama 4, the entire open source AI game changed. Whether you're building the next big startup or simply curious about where artificial intelligence is headed, this story is far from over. Keep your eyes on the horizon, because the real giant has yet to awaken. So, take a deep breath and see you next time.